Hey folks, been a while. Just giving you some updates. Gabe is currently in recovery right now. I had surgery to get a hernia repaired earlier today, and he's going to be out for a little while. Of course, we've been out for a little while. We haven't really done anything, but I've been watching these military, content creators on YouTube and other social media platforms. And first off, man, I've always told people this. People in the military, there are people in the military that have so much talent. I knew guys that could write music, write poems, write songs. Shout out to you, Scott. You know who I'm talking about, Scott. And other guys and gals, you got my dog, who could, write stories and sing and play instruments and just do all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't surprise me that there are folks out there that are military content creators that are very good at what they do. It's just amazing how many of them there are. And there are so many of them that are so good, I'm not even going to try to name any of them. But, some of the things that I've been seeing are like, stuff about what you're never going to lose from the military and all that stuff. So I decided I'd come up with a couple of things that I've noticed. And most of these content creators are from a generation or two after me. I came in 1994. So a lot of these content creators came into the military long after, my service time was up. And there aren't many folks of my generation that are out there making content, frankly, because we're just not as good as these younger guys are, and we're not as plugged in as to what the culture is now versus what it was when we were in. But I can just tell you, being out, I've been out for 19 years altogether now. Yeah, it's hard to believe. 19 years altogether, somewhere around there. My dog's trying to get up on my lap. But you lose, there's always stuff about the military that's going to stay the same regardless. But there's also stuff that changes with the generations. And, like I said, I came in 94. So my generation is different than the generation that's in now and the one before it, so on and so forth. But there are some things that stick with you no matter what once you've been in and you've done any time in the military. And one of those things would be calling people ma'am and sir. Your manners are usually really good. Why? Because you better have your stuff on point when you're in. Manners are a huge thing. It's not just for officers and all that stuff, but you use your manners more in the military. It's encouraged. It's actually more than encouraged. You better have your, P's and Q's on all that stuff. This dog just wants me to rub his ear. He's a puppy. He's a little German Shepherd. He's a trip. But manners, ma'am and sir are huge. Most vets I know, you can pretty much tell, in today's society, have a good inkling at least as to who a vet is and who isn't simply by their manners. Number two, I would say, is the being early stuff. We like to be there early. It's like this morning, I had something I had to do, said I'd be there at 9. I didn't get there until 9:15. Man, it bothered me. I went there 15 minutes early. So, and it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a work, it can be an appointment at the VA, it can be you told a friend you were going to be there at 5. Well, you're going to be there at 16:45, because if you're not, well, you're late. That's just the way it is, and it really does bother you. It really does. And now nobody's going to yell at you or any of that stuff, but you have it like in your mind that I'm supposed to be here early. On time is late. Less than 15 is late. You better be there 15 minutes prior. That's just the way it is. It's funny how those little things stick with you. Number 3 would be the 30-inch step. You still have it. You still got it. When you're not paying attention most of the time. Most of us, when we get out, you keep your bearing, you keep all that stuff. But the 30-inch step is something that kind of sets us apart. You can tell another vet by the gait, how they walk, their posture, everything about them. You can just tell. And let two vets get to walking side by side. Let you walk with anybody. You will find yourself getting into step with them without even friggin' knowing about it, especially if it's two vets. It's going to happen. And it doesn't matter what branch. Got a good, really good Air Force friend of mine. And when we're walking around, stuff like that, we will notice that we're falling in step with each other. It's just the way it is. I'd say number 4 on this list. Again, I'm trying to pet the dog and talk at the same time. But I'd say number 4 on the list is if you make a mistake, it eats you up. It really does, And it's not because, you're worried about getting yelled at and screamed at and all that stuff. It's just that it bothers you when you make a mistake and you feel like somebody else has to pull your share of the weight. That's something the military is just, and I don't care what branch you're in, all the jokes aside, any branch, the feeling that we're not doing our share and that somebody has to pull our weight for us is just incomprehensible. And if we make a mistake, we are unreasonably hard on ourselves. We really are. You will find yourself apologizing and getting mad at yourself for little things that most people don't even friggin' notice. They don't care. They really don't. I'd say number 5 is the direct bluntness of the communication. And that's something that's really, really hard to ditch because in the military, as you know, I was in the Army, that's kind of obvious over there in the hat, but in the military, if you're with a good leader expects you to communicate the problems that you see at your level to them. And they expect you, if you see them making a mistake, to do the right thing and, pull them offline and say, hey, this might not be the best way to go about it. They expect that because you're looking out for them. My platoon sergeant's job, he's got a job. My job is to make sure that my squad, my team, myself, what I'm supposed to be doing is being done correctly so that the platoon sergeant, his mission is accomplished as well, and so on and so forth. Well, if I'm a team leader, squad leader, or even a brand new private, and I see something going wrong, or I see a potential problem in the planning, then I need to correctly bring it to that next higher up's attention and say, hey, I don't think this is going to work. Can we try it like this, or what do you suggest we do? That's just the way it is, And out here, we have to learn corporate America is completely different than the military. It's completely different. If you say something out here, people will not take it very well. We'll just put it like that, which to me makes no sense. I don't want to be set up for failure. If you see me making a mistake, I want you to be cool about it. Don't try to, unless it's life or death or somebody get hurt, something like that, don't call me out in front of people, pull me off to the side by all means. But I want you to tell me if I'm making a mistake. That way I have a chance to either not make the mistake to begin with or correct the mistake. It's something out in the civilian world that I've noticed, during my civilian working career was really not appreciated. They say it is, but it's not. And that's something each and every one of us has to struggle with. Tact is your best friend. Being able to understand you can't be as blunt as you were in the military, and sometimes you got to be. You don't have a choice. But sometimes, I'm watching the dog over there because he's crazy. But sometimes you've got to have a little bit of tact, and you got to be able to cross those rivers a little bit differently than you would in the military. You still communicate directly, honestly, but you try to soften it up a little bit so that people's feelings aren't hurt. It sucks, but that's the way it is in corporate America. But anyways, I hope you guys like this. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. And, hit us up on, we've got Twitter, We've got Instagram, Facebook, of course, on the channel, Interesting Stuff Productions. I can't even talk. Interesting Stuff Productions, YouTube and Rumble. Make sure you hit us up, comment, we like the comments, we really do. And we'll do some more of this is kind of like a last minute video. So we'll try to do some more of these. I will, at least. I've got to get the studio done. I need to get the camera set up a little bit better. But anyways, till next time, be smart, be safe, don't do stupid stuff. Gabe, we love you. Heal up. Holla at you soon. Bye.